Ask and thou shalt receive. People not knowing has me peeved. My rating's a total of 6. But don't fret, just watch this little mix. From the lowest, my time wasted, the worst of the worst, the vile, the hated. Then comes nothing but noise, filling my mind as I bake cookies with poise. Some films you take and some you leave, but some make you flat out grieve. Most films are entertaining as usual, but to call them classics would be delusional. Then come the all-stars, all the must-sees. When I watch these films, they set me free. Finally, the classics, past and future, the best of the best, highly praised by viewers. On my system, it's time for a lesson. By the end, I hope you find it most impressive. Hey guys, I would like to apologize in advance. When I made my rating system, I thought it would be pretty straightforward, but I've gotten a lot of you guys saying that we needed a video explaining the ratings, so here I am today explaining the ratings to you. My rating system is a little weird. They can be put in a certain order, but they also can't. I intended the ratings to be more descriptive in terms of should you watch this movie or should you not. So when you think about the movies that I give certain ratings to, think more on what am I trying to say in terms of viewing this. But that being said, I will put them into a certain rank because some of the ratings are better than others. Background noise is the lowest of the movies, and these are movies that I would say you shouldn't watch even if they were available for free. These are movies I would rather gouge my eyes out with spoons than watch again. The example I gave for this is The Room. I'm not going to get too much into it because I am doing a 30-day film challenge on The Room, but if you haven't seen The Room, thank your lucky stars. That is 2 hours of my life I am never getting back. Background noise are those movies that I would only recommend if you really, really, really want to see it, don't spend money on it, and really just watch it if you intend on doing something else as well. These are movies that really you shouldn't focus a lot of attention on, and you should just keep in the background as, say, you know, you're baking cookies or as you're cleaning. The example I gave is The Birds of Prey, because The Birds of Prey, while it's competently made, it is a movie that isn't all that good, is a little too over the top, and really is just better as background noise. Given other things, I'd rather focus on the other things, but if I feel like it, I'll just put it on in the background. Take It or Leave It are those films that most people will either enjoy, but some will hate, or most will hate and some will enjoy. This is probably the most confusing of my ratings, but the best example I can give with this one is Napoleon Dynamite. Napoleon Dynamite is one of those films that uses a lot of crude humor. It's those movies that get somewhat of a cult following just because of how ridiculous they are, or because they are catered towards a certain niche, but not everyone's gonna like. And these are movies that when I rate them, I either hate them, but some people like them, or I like them and not everybody does. My most recent example, of course, was Midway. And the reason for that was Midway is definitely tailored towards history buffs. Same thing with Napoleon Dynamite. One of those movies that I enjoy. It's a guilty pleasure movie of mine. Super dumb humor, super stupid, but it definitely is not going to be everyone's cup of tea. The usual fare are those movies that are entertaining, are competently made, but you're not going to remember a year, 5 years, 10 years from now. They're not gonna be, they don't change anything about film, and they're films that, you know, if you want something to entertain yourself and they're available, definitely watch them. You're not gonna go wrong watching these movies, but there are movies that are definitely much more memorable than these. The example I gave is Ant-Man. When I watch Ant-Man, it's wildly entertaining, but it's, of all the Marvel movies, it's a movie that I'm not going to remember compared to some other Marvel outings. Required viewing movies are where we start to get into those movies that are must-sees. These are the movies that, when I say required viewing, you should definitely go spend the money to see them in theaters, or if they are released to streaming, you should put down everything right now and go watch on your TV. Make it, you know, a family movie night, or, you know, make it a nice night, make popcorn and whatnot, because these are movies that you will remember fondly a year, 5 years, 10 years from now, but aren't quite to the level of classic status. They're missing that one element that brings them over the top. The example I give is Mission Impossible Fallout, the most recent iteration in the franchise. And the reason that that movie is required viewing is it's not quite to the level of classic, but it is a very, very great film, and it's one of those films that when I think of what top spy films I want to watch, this is definitely one of those movies that is up there and that I go to time and time and time again, and that I enjoy watching over and over and over again. Future classics are the creme de la creme of film. These films are required viewing films with that little extra oomph. The example I give is A Quiet Place, which is a movie that, while it is required viewing, has that extra element. It's a premise that we haven't really seen before, and the added element of it being a little more silent, while you think it would detract from the film, actually adds to the heightened tension of the film and really brings it over the edge in terms of movies that will be the gold standard 10, 20, 30, 40 years from now. That wraps up my video, guys. I hope you enjoyed. Please comment down below, were these helpful? Was it not? Do you need any more clarification on something? And please keep in mind, these ratings aren't etched in stone, even though generally the order I gave is the order that it's in. But a take it or leave it film by the end of the year I may have on my top 10 movies of 2020, or a top 10 movie list, whereas I may leave out a required viewing or a usual fare movie. So just keep that in mind. These are somewhat loose and malleable ratings, but generally that is where they fall in terms of the way I introduce them to you. So please stay tuned for more videos down the pipeline. Thanks for watching.